I saw Air this weekend, this past Saturday. Air, if you haven't seen it, it is about the story of Nike signing Michael Jordan, the story of the process that went behind it, and how massive it was for sports as a whole, sports contracts, the shoe industry, just changed the world, honestly. And directed by Ben Affleck, Matt Damon also stars in it. Jason Bateman, um,
Oh, Jason Bateman's in it too. Nice.
yeah, Jason Bateman's in it as well. And here are my initial thoughts on it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. For somebody who has a sports podcast who talks about sports all day and loves sports, my least favorite movie genre
This
is
is
the
me.
sports genre. I really do. I think it's the most cheesy, predictable, just corny garbage when it comes to the film
Wow.
industry. But that being said, every once in a while there's a movie that comes around that I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't corny, predictable garbage. This is actually pretty goddamn good. And that's what Air was. I wasn't really expecting much, although I do love Ben Affleck as a director. I think he's a great director. And I was excited to hear about it. I figured that they were going to do a good job telling the story. And, I like Nike. I like Michael Jordan. This is going to be a match made in heaven. And my takeaway from this movie, my short review is like, this movie is everything that a sports movie is not. It's keeps you on the edge of your seat. Even though I knew what the outcome was going to be, I knew they were going to
Right.
sign him. You could really feel the high pressure stakes that went into it. I mean, this is equivalent to somebody trying to sign, someone to Puma at this point. Like they were the bottom of the food chain in the shoe industry. They were making way less money. They didn't have the big names like the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds of the world, like Converse and Adidas did at the time. And them signing Michael Jordan was a massive risk that ended up paying off. And you feel that throughout the movie. Matt Damon's character has a bit of a gambling addiction. You see him carrying that out and how he, likes to risk it all, whether it be his paycheck or his job, his career, his livelihood, going all in on Michael Jordan. But he believed in it and he went all in, and that was great. Acting performances, Matt Damon, fantastic job. Ben Affleck was hilarious as Phil Knight. Really great. Kind of played the intense CEO that you would expect Phil Knight to be. Jason Bateman, kind of a typical Jason Bateman character, kind of whiny, kind of like, all right, buddy, whatever. And then the Michael Jordan story. I mean, the way they kind of convinced him, because he initially was going to sign with Adidas, but then they gave him the greatest deal that any player could have had at the time. They give him $500,000 a year for 5 years, and they also gave him a piece of the revenue, which at the time was unheard of. And it was just a really great story, really fun to watch. And I would probably give this about a 9 out of 10.